Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
This is the city. 2 million people, almost 1 million kids. The people have tried to plan for them. They've built schools for them to learn in, beaches and parks for them to play in. Most of the kids follow the course as planned. A few of them get lost on the way. When they do, it makes trouble for me. I'm a cop. It was Thursday, April 10th. We were working the day watch out of Juvenile Division. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Stein. My name's Friday. A crime wave had suddenly erupted among the teenagers of the city. We were getting reports of robberies, burglaries, and bodily assault. We didn't know why it was happening, but we had to try and stop it. Frank?
Yeah, Joe.
Got a call in West Fremont.
Same neighborhood we had trouble Monday night?
Yeah, sounds like it might be the same gang, too.
Those kids are sure moving fast.
Yeah, did you leave the note for Simmons?
Mm-hmm. All set. What is it this time?
Movie theater on West Fremont, small neighborhood house.
Mm-hmm.
They had a crowd of 15 or 20 kids in there today, mixed group, boys and girls. For no reason at all, they started to tear the place up.
They do much damage?
Well, we can see when we get there. They told me on the phone, theater manager tried to quiet the kids down. Half a dozen boys piled all over him. One of them pulled a knife. They tore up a couple of seats, moved out into the lobby, smashed mirrors, lamps, beat up one of the ushers.
Lousy little punks that give a right arm to know how this thing got started. We never had much trouble from the kids in that neighborhood out there, Joe. Not until this last month. They seem to be going crazy.
Well, it's not getting any better. Burglaries, car thefts, wrecking property.
Somebody's going to come out on the short end if it keeps up. It's got to happen.
Well, maybe it already has, Frank. When they were ripping up that theater lobby today, one kid got hurt.
What happened?
14-year-old boy. In the mix-up, he got shoved through a display case, plate glass.
Cut up pretty bad.
On his eyes. I'm not sure he's going to see again. In police work, the standard law of cause and effect works like it does for everything else. When a crime's committed, there's a cause behind it. There's a reason for it. And when a group of normally well-behaved kids in an average residential neighborhood start running wild, there's got to be a reason for that, too. A month before, a rash of auto thefts, petty stealing, and public disturbances had broken out suddenly in this particular neighborhood. All of the incidents were traced directly to the teenagers in the area. Why the kids had suddenly decided to run wild, we didn't know, but the amount and nature of the violations kept getting more serious. Juveniles who'd previously been picked up for petty thefts and placed on probation were now being brought in on charges of burglary. Auto thefts in the area had jumped 20%. Misconduct and drunk charges against the teenagers, girls and boys alike, increased by the week. We had a fair idea what the root of all the trouble was. So far, we hadn't been able to trace it. 3:07 p.m. We got to the neighborhood movie theater on West Fremont. We went inside. The lobby was a shambles. A new show had just started. The manager of the theater met us in the lobby, a Mr. Clyde Barton.
Got the best of me, Sergeant. I don't know what to make of it. Just look at that wreck. You'd think they were a bunch of savages.
You have any idea at all what started them off, Mr. Barton?
No idea in the world. A bunch of them came in about 2 o'clock today. Boys and girls both. They sat in front and watched the picture for a while, and it started getting noisy.
Did you recognize the kids? I mean, are they from the neighborhood here?
Sure, I know who they are. I say they started to make trouble down front, kicking the back of the seats and yelling around. Usher couldn't do anything with them, so I went down to tell them to quiet down and get out.
Well, did any of them in particular seem responsible for the racket? Any ringleader?
Not that I noticed, no. I tried to be nice to kids, reason with them. They just wouldn't have it. Must have been almost 2 dozen of them. When they wouldn't behave, I told them to leave. I'd give them their money back.
What'd they do?
Got real foul-mouthed. 1 or 2 of the girls, too. Some of the language I wouldn't even use at a stag party. Well, I got so mad, I grabbed 2 of the guys by the neck and told them to get out. And that's when it broke loose.
What happened exactly?
A whole crowd of them jumped out of their seats and piled on me. I fell back down there on the floor, and I started swinging. To tell you the truth, Sergeant, I was scared. I didn't know what to make of them. It seemed like a pack of animals, wild. I happened to hit this one kid, and I saw him pull out a knife and come at me.
You usually get along pretty well with the neighborhood kids, do you, Mr. Barton? They don't have any grudge against you that you know of?
Not that I know of, no. Up until a few weeks ago, everything was fine. I never had a bit of trouble with them. Then all this rowdy stuff began. I tell you, it's got the best of me.
This is the first time you've had any trouble of any real size, is that right?
Yeah, well, once in a while the kids fool around the show, talking loud, you know, but nothing like this. You want to see Fred, my usher, the way they messed him up. Brutal. That little 14-year-old that they shoved through the glass showcase. Gonna be a real mess if he doesn't pull through.
I was going to ask you, sir, about the kids in that crowd you recognized. You happen to know any of their names?
Here's the list. 7 names in all. Every one of those kids was in that gang. I can give you a hand tracking down their addresses.
Thank you.
Something else. Here's what I was talking about.
What's this, sir?
In that scramble here in the lobby, that little box fell out of one of the kids' pockets. One of the ushers picked it up and brought it into me. Have a look inside.
Frank?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know too much about it, Sergeant, but I got a hunch. I don't think I made a mistake.
Yeah?
What do you think?
No, sir, it's no mistake. Marijuana. We finished interviewing the theater manager, Clyde Barton, and then we talked to the usher, Donald Masters, who recovered the small box containing the marijuana from the floor of the lobby. He told us he recognized the young fellow who dropped the box. He said the boy's name was Harold Everson, one of the names which appeared on the list which the theater manager, Mr. Barton, had given us. 7:45 p.m., Frank and I located the Everson boys' home. It was a 2-story frame, colonial-style house in a better-than-average section of the city. The boy's father answered the door, a Harold Everson Sr. We told him what we wanted.
We were about to sit down and eat. You have to make routine calls at dinner time?
Not a routine call, Mr. Everson. We'd like to see your son if he's home.
Harry, what do you have to see him about?
Do you have any idea where your boy spent his time today after school?
Well, he said he was going down to the gym, play a little basketball. Then he was going to the library. It's school night. He had studying to do.
I think